President Trump is back in his hometown of New York City this week for the annual United Nations General Assembly, where he's meeting with fellow heads of government, including Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and French President Emmanuel Macron. With his America First slogan, Mr. Trump is an intense critic of the UN for what he believes is waste and mismanagement. In his first visit to the body as president, Mr. Trump called for major reforms.
We seek a United Nations that regains the trust of the people around the world. In order to achieve this, the United Nations must hold every level of management accountable, protect whistleblowers, and focus on results rather than on process. We encourage all member states to look at ways to take bold stands at the United Nations with an eye toward changing business as usual and not being beholden to ways of the past which were not working.
All right, Greg, so previous presidents may have said it, but I think that the United Nations thinks that this one really means it.
Yeah, yes. First of all, we have to talk about him calling Kim Jong-un Rocket Man. I think he should continue this. He should refer to Netanyahu as Benny and the Jets and Macron Tiny Dancer. Donald Trump is closest to American attitudes about the UN that you will ever find. He realizes,
and willing to say so.
Yes, we've all figured this out. We all, especially people who live around this horrible place. It's basically Epcot Center without the amazing food court. And finally, we have a president that says we're going to reform it. And for the longest time, the UN has always pointed fingers at us, passing judgment on us while they double park their limos. They don't pay their parking tickets. They harass our call girls. They close down department stores so they can buy their mistress a stuffed boar.
What?
And they tell
that
us.
Happened?
No, I made that up.
Oh.
But what I'm saying is that they come here and they take advantage of this country. They have a free ride here. And it's nice that a president is saying the word reform, because reform means we're now looking at you. Mm-hmm. We're looking at you. You've got to change your ways. Enough about us. U.S.
I have to take issue with something Gutfeld just said. I've been to the UN, and their food court is fantastic.
Are you sure that wasn't the Epcot Center?
Is it like, can you get everything from all around the world?
Everything.
What's your favorite?
Mongolian.
Okay.
It's terrific.
The beef?
I can't believe I'm saying that, of course. Thanks for clarifying, Kimberly.
Thank you.
After some of the other commentary. I can't believe I'm saying this. I miss Gaddafi. Remember when Gaddafi would come in during the UN General Assembly and he wouldn't sleep in a hotel? He would pitch a tent in Central Park.
Yeah.
Those were the good old days.
We didn't let him do that, did we?
Oh, yeah.
We did.
Oh, yeah.
We absolutely did.
Amazing.
I know. And Central Park is much safer because of it. I think the UN is only as strong as the U.S. makes it. And President Trump puts the bully in bully pulpit. He's going to come in and say, just like he did with NATO, pony up, pay your fair share, carry your own burden, because he realizes the United States is not going to be able to pay for this and do all this stuff forever, just like he did with NATO. Now, the Security Council has been more useful to the president than the House and the Senate to a certain extent. He hasn't got a lot legislatively done, but he's got 2 unanimous UN Security Council resolutions through sanctioning the North Koreans. So I think Trump does well on the world stage because he's used to dealing with CEOs and executives, not legislatures, where it's really hard to cobble together big coalitions. Mm-hmm. And you see him as a man of action dealing with other world leaders very effectively. Mm-hmm. And I think the speech tomorrow is going to be pretty good.
And even tomorrow, or before today, I'm excited about the speech. I want to talk about it in a second. But even before today, you had people in the region of Asia, China, Japan, South Korea, all sort of changing its defense postures because the time is now to deal with North Korea. And President Trump made it clear over the weekend, and then as he's talking to everybody today, I'm sure behind the scenes, this is priority number 1.
Absolutely, and this is really a great time. It's, fortuitous in terms of the timing to try to build these coalitions and strengthen the resolve to do something with North Korea now, because it's not going to get any better if we just delay of game, right? So they've got to do something. I think people are ready for it. And I think they feel that President Trump is the man to get, the job done. So I like kind of like the coalescing of interest and resolve towards that common goal. And I think today what we heard with the president, you want to talk about in a second, but really shows, like Jesse said, he's very comfortable on the world stage and dealing with world leaders who he sort of interacts with, like CEOs of major companies. It fits his business model and his mindset versus like disparate people and, the legislature, et cetera, that he can't quite get a grasp on. He likes when he's one-on-one with Xi, or he likes when he's, talking to that of South Korea about Rocket Man. He likes those type of one-on-one conversations.
And he really gets to have the main world stage won because President Putin and President Xi, so Russia and China, those leaders did not attend this week. So he can run the table.
Well, I don't know if he can run the table, but I think this is his show. And I mean, everybody's looking forward to his appearance tomorrow before the General Assembly. This is Trump on the world stage in a way that I think we have not seen before. We've seen him overseas. He dealt with NATO in terms of another multilateral group and said, basically, you should pay up. Well, of course, everybody then said, well, exactly. GDP as a percentage of GDP, actually, the United States and other countries are paying up. But he wants them to pay more. And he has seen some of the countries then pony up more money. So it did have some effect. And I think that similarly tomorrow, while people have trouble with Trump with Rocket Man or this weekend, the business about, the retweeting the image of a golf ball hitting Hillary Clinton in the back and her stumbling, people think this is trivial. But tomorrow, it's hard to look at him as something less than a world leader standing in front of the UN and speaking about something that the entire world is concerned about, which is North Korea. I mean, that is what is front and center tomorrow. There are other issues, and we're going to get to some of them later in the program dealing with Iran or the Paris climate deal. But tomorrow, he's got an audience that wants to hear from him, that wants to support him, wants to see leadership in terms of dealing with Kim Jong-un.
I also want to see more of that golf ball video.
You didn't see it enough?
I thought it was funny.
Easy to please.
I'm okay saying it's funny.
Roll it.
Made me laugh.
I didn't think it was funny. I thought it was sad that the world leader, the guy that you want to see.
He didn't put it together. He just retweeted it. On Twitter, you can retweet stuff and not endorse it. Tweeting is not an endorsement.
Oh, my
If it's just funny, you retweet it. Yeah. We've all done it.
Yeah, if you're president of the United States.
That's what makes Trump Trump. He doesn't care. You got to look at Twitter the way he looks at it. He just looks at it as something fun and interesting, and it drives people nuts. It makes them crazy. They get all upset about it. If you don't get upset, then it's nothing.
And it wasn't presidential, Juan. It was modern-day presidential.
Yeah, it wasn't modern-day presidential for a president that's trying to expand a base. I think he was playing to the worst of his base.
He can walk and chew gum at the same time.
Oh, yeah. Insult it. And why not just punch a woman in the back with a golf ball?
I might be able to.
Why you got to bring sex into it? It had nothing to do with gender.
Oh, nothing. Yeah, Hillary Clinton's not a woman.
But if somebody...
that wasn't real.
That's not what I said.
No, somebody's got to tell Juan.
What is going on?
Somebody's got to tell Juan it wasn't real. It was real. It was doctored. The golf ball never actually hit her. It was not real.
No. That's the image.
No, you said it punched her.
That's the image that he wanted to send to the world at this moment.
But it wasn't real. I just want to make it clear that people know that it's not real.
And also the play in Central Park about President Trump, it wasn't real either.
Except
hilarious.
They killed the president.
And we did it for 7 days straight.
So you think those are the same?
Good point.
And Waters World did it too.
You don't think it's the same?
Of course it's not the same. Do you think Kathy Griffin holding a head, that's the same as that?
Actually, I think all of it's bad.
I don't. I could see it in gradations.
I
could see that a cute little golf ball tapping her on the back and married to her stumbling is a little bit different. It's playful. It's funny.
Yeah, he's just responding to the book.
This is a litmus test.
He's responding to the book.
That's his way of responding to what happened.
Greg,
you know what happened?
I just love the self-righteousness. That's all.
Totally.
Kimberly, in addition, on more important topics, the president met with Israel Prime Minister Netanyahu today, and they're trying to talk about starting Middle East peace.
Yes. Okay. So listen, another great relationship and alliance between these two countries. And we saw right away in the beginning of the Trump presidency that he had the favor of Netanyahu, that they were like-minded, people working very closely together and with confidence. And I would say also trust in one another. He really believes that President Trump is a friend to Israel, and Israel has reiterated back that they are a friend to the United States. So I think that's like one relationship that's going quite well, and they seem to be on the same page. And so that's something they're acting in concert towards a common end.